I found an interesting article written by the Daily Herald, and I'm going to read it. Crystal Lake 5-year-old AJ Friend died from being hit multiple times on the head 3 days before his father called 911 to report the boy missing, authorities said Thursday. The child had been forced into a cold shower for an extended period of time and had been struck repeatedly, causing his death. Statements from the prosecutors and from McHenry County Coroner David Devon said. His father is accused of burying the child in a shallow grave 7 miles from his home on April the 15th, then waiting 3 days before calling 911 to say the boy was gone missing overnight, according to the criminal complaint filed Thursday morning and earlier police statements. His parents, Joanna Cunningham, 36, and Andrew Friend Sr., 60, are being held on a $5 million bail after separate court hearings before Judge Mark Gerhardt Thursday in McHenry County. Prosecutors sought bails of $10 million for each, as both face multiple charges of first-degree murder, aggravated battery, domestic battery, and failure to report a child or a child's death. Friend Sr. faces an additional charge of concealment of a death, and he is accused of burying his son's body, court documents say. The boy's body, wrapped in plastic, was recovered Wednesday from a shallow grave in a semi-rural area off Dean Street, north of Route 176. The two appeared separately in bond court wearing orange prison jumpsuits and represented by assistant public defenders. Cunningham shook her head as her charges were read, but otherwise neither showed any signs of emotion as their bond was set. Both Cunningham and Friend, scheduled to return to court at 9 a.m. Monday, each face up to life in prison on the murder charge alone. After the bond hearings, inmates appeared to hang letters reading "Rip AJ" in a cell block window above the entry to the McHenry County Jail. Prosecutors said both parents gave authorities information regarding the location of the boy's body after being presented with analysis of cell phone data. An autopsy was performed Thursday. Devon reported only that the body had been definitely identified as AJ, and the cause of death was cerebral trauma as a consequence of multiple blunt force injuries. AJ was born in 2013 with opiates in his system, triggering the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services' first interaction with Cunningham and Friend Sr. The boy was removed from their custody a month after he was born and placed in foster care, but he was returned to Cunningham and Friend Sr. in June 2015, DCFS records show. DCFS was asked to investigate the family again in March 2018, but determined allegations of neglect to be unfounded. The agency was called again in December by police after Cunningham was arrested on a misdemeanor traffic charge. Police documented significant problems with the couple's home on Dole Avenue, including an overwhelming stench of feces in the boy's room. Again, DCFS determined the allegations of neglect to be unfounded. When AJ was reported missing April 18th, DCFS removed the couple's younger son and placed him in protective custody. On Wednesday, DCFS, in a statement, described the confirmation of his death as heartbreaking and that its priority was care and safety of AJ's younger brother. Janelle Butler, who lives across the street, said neighbors had suspected from the beginning that the truth of AJ's disappearance had not been told. Everybody just wants to know what happened and how did that happen, she said, as police on traffic duty and TV crews were stationed outside. Why would you want to kill a child, she asked. That doesn't make sense to me. And before I end this video, I want to explain to you why Joanna Cunningham and Andrew Friend Sr. were both charged with 5 counts of murder. And a very nice viewer named Susan sent me the answer to this. And it says, as to the 5 counts of murder against the parents, it's all age related. Illinois is not a death penalty state. Some states automatically charge the murder of a child to first degree if under like 12 years old. The original charge is, of course, murder. The second charge has to do with the age being 5 and the parents being in a position of trust and responsibility. Not sure what all the specific reasons are that add up to the 5 counts, but they are related to the fact he is a child. The reason it's very important to make all the charges is so it can be added to the guilty verdict and be added onto the penalty portion of the case. I just want to say before I end this video, if you suspect that a child is being abused, please pick up the phone and report it. If we don't report when we suspect that a child is being abused, we are just as guilty as the abuser. Now, CPS had visited this house before, but the system failed AJ. He was left in the home with his abusive parents and they ended up taking his life. And CPS had investigated these parents multiple times. It's just so sad thinking about all the horror that this child went through in his short 5 years. The only time that this kid ever saw any peace or probably experienced any love was when he was taken away from his parents and put into foster care. Let's all remember AJ in our thoughts and prayers. I'm going to light a candle for him in just a moment and say a prayer.